This week, Farfa uploaded a low-effort, unscripted, repetitive, exactly 8-minute ramble. Must be a day that ends in Y, am I right? But instead of his usual epic takedowns of something I made, this video had a point. Yes, it was messy, but it was messy because, by now, what can you manage about Konami's flagship product other than a vague frustration? Sitting down and writing out what's happened to Master Duel is almost an impossible task. You get about 3 sentences in before you start getting angry, then frustrated, then sad, then empty, then contemplative, then horny, then angry again. There are times when, as someone who has inexorably tied his finances to this product, you can't do much more than sigh and load into another game of ranked regardless. So rather than talk about Master Duel by talking about Master Duel, I want to draw an analog. As Magic the Gathering has begun its slow transition into Fortnite, the geniuses in charge of facilitating this transformation have come up with a useful phrase for bad sets. This product is not for you. Not everything can appeal to everybody after all, then there's no reason to yuck other people's yums. To translate from the Spider-Man CCG to Yu-Gi-Oh!, maybe you don't like the Challenger Cups were shelved for Shadow Duelist, but maybe a lapsed Yugist who's a fan of One Direction loved it. Maybe you aren't a fan of the current card pool, but some guy with a bootleg Appaloosa figurine might be. And maybe you don't love that there's only one way to play the game, but don't the pros deserve a chance to test? As Master Duel gears up to enter its 4th year, I think it's worth asking the question, who is Master Duel for? Let's get into it. The meta sucks. Farfa talks about it a little in his video, but I'll give you a brief overview here as well. At present, there's really only one deck worth playing, Malice. If you stretch the definition of worth playing, you can get to a second one, Ryziel. At the start of Ryziel's tenure in the metagame, I went to bat for it. Cards like Ext and builds like Fiendsmith are good on the play, but better on the draw, and their uninterrupted turn 1 board is very breakable. Unfortunately, the Master Duel card pool is just totally unprepared for best of 1. As a result, stupid-ass setups that wouldn't pass muster in games where one player knows if they'll be on the play or the draw are just totally free here, resulting in a deck whose current most common end board is Baguska and Detonator, both of which are untargetable, courtesy of Photon Dragon. You'd expect a game that intends to be best of 1 forever to have, like, a ban list designed around it, but no, it doesn't. In fact, it's full of negate slop all-stars like Appaloosa that are legal nowhere else. I'll give you an example of how ridiculous this is. At the World Tournament, the going first win rate was 70%. For Malice specifically, it was 80%. This is, of course, impacted by the specific World's rule set that prevents players from maxing out on every hand trap, but they were playing a lot of them and it wasn't nearly enough. I remember when Hearthstone had to move heaven and earth when it was revealed in 2016 that their going first win rate was approaching 55. The horror! Unfortunately, every time you so much as mention Master Duel's current miserable metagame, you get a half dozen dedicated Master Duel grinders hopping into your mentions to let you know that yes, while the metagame isn't perfect, there's still a lot of fun to be had just competing. Isn't the thrill of competition its own reward? And the best players consistently place high in DC, so clearly there's skill involved. Yeah, that's true. Competitive nut punching also allows you to feel the thrill of competition. And the cream consistently rises to the top there, too. Iron Balls Wilson just won his 8th title, but I'm not playing that. This is the first example of Master Duel not being for me. I can't sustain myself just from the thrill of competition. I won't play a game unless I'm having fun doing it. Why aren't you all Pokemon players, for instance? Min-maxing a format I hate is just work. There's skill in scrubbing toilets. Farfa beat this to death in his video, and it's not hard to see why. For a lot of players, Master Duel is the exclusive way they engage with Yu-Gi-Oh! For a lot of potential players, it's a first step on what could be a long and storied Yu-Gi-Oh! Adventure. But for all of them, it really pales in comparison to what's available in the TCG or the OCG. This is compounded by the issue that there's nothing to do in this game. I went over this a little bit on stream, but let me reiterate it here. It's really, really out of place that the only thing you can do in Master Duel is ranked. Not to beat off Magic the Gathering for the 6th time this video, but Arena's been out just about as long as Master Duel. If I open up the Spider-Man-less Spider-Man client, I'm greeted with draft cubes, traditional draft cubes, Foundations draft, Edge of Eternity's draft, a Premier version, a Standard qualifier, a Phyrexia draft, an Eldraine draft, Phantom Sealed, and a Pioneer challenge. tutorials, color challenge, starter deck duels, plus permanent game modes of standard, alchemy, historic, brawl, and timeless. And 2 or 3 of those are even good. If I open up duel links, I get speed duel ladder, rush duel ladder, PvE, refresh and the gate, loner duels, tour guide bingo, duelist road with turbo duels, and a character unlock. If I open up master duel, I get duel. Some solo modes that are all the exact same gameplay loop, and depending on the week, we might have an event that's almost always just ladder, but with a different ban list. It's been 4 years! Where is fucking Edison? Where is Draft? Where's Sealed? Where's limited play at all? Legacy of the Duelist had Battle Pack Draft, and it's like 10 years old! Hearthstone shipped with Arena, and we're using Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck to manage our Saga accounts! Do you have any idea how much Sealed would make you? How much easier it would be for new players to get into the game if you had structure deck or character duels? We're never gonna have our fucking commander moment. It took them 3 years to give us rated. God forbid something needs coding. Look, on one hand, I get it. For 70% of Yu-Gi-Oh's lifespan, playing Yu-Gi-Oh has meant exactly one thing. But it's wild to see how many new ways to play the game erupted out of having a client that looks good. Saga, Roulette, Masochist, Mirror Masters. And how unwilling Konami is to do anything but different ban list, same ladder. At YCS's, they've sanctioned cool shit like Rivalry and Speed Duels. Why can't they just give an intern a weekend project to build the Rivalry decks or something? As a result, if you're not interested in climbing a ladder, facing ever more meta opponents, then Master Duel isn't for you. Wanna putz around in low rank with garbage? Enjoy every third game against an unskippable Malice cutscene. Wanna do stupid challenges with your friends? Well, load up a third-party app. Wanna play domain format? Hop on Dueling Book, I guess. It seems like an obvious move to integrate any of this into the client, which brings me to a discussion on... This entire video, and Farfas, have been big whinge fests about the state of Master Duel. How do I rankle that with the video I made last month in which I said that Master Duel's popularity is coming at the cost of the TCG? Well, it's because despite the above problems, Master Duel's doing fine. Check the players graph and you'll see it's hemorrhaging users for the above reasons. Outside of some VTube talent paid to play the game, no one remotely large is checking it out, and yet... it's doing what it has to. It's making a lot of money. I've been detailing the people Master Duel isn't for. Weekend warriors, jank enthusiasts, alternate format enjoyers, anyone who doesn't like Malice. But there's an inverse of this question, right? Who is Master Duel for? Well, it's for whales. It's for people like me who outspend hundreds of kind of invested people. It's why Konami's focus hasn't been on new game modes or balanced formats. It's been on cosmetic releases and battle passes and fucking favorite slots. They're making you pay to mark a card in the favorite tab. And make no mistake, the goal of Master Duel isn't to sequester the whales off in a corner to keep the game thrumming. It's to convert the people who aren't whales into whales. That's why there's so many URs in these must-play back-to-back Tier 0 strategies. That's why even basic functionality like deck slots are paywalled. They want you comfortable spending money. A little here, a little there, until you're invested. Then you gotta keep up. That's what they've spent the 4 years this game's been out doing. Finding ways to juice you. The game is designed from the ground up to capitalize on a dwindling number of people with mental illness. Gambling addicts, YouTubers, or those who never Googled what the sunk cost fallacy is. They don't care that their multiplayer game is putting up lower numbers than The Binding of Isaac. You can't spend $300 on a Malice core, followed by another $50 when Adignister extenders are released, in a secret room. If you're not spending money, and a lot of it, then Master Duel is not for you. As a conclusion, I just want to say, if you find Master Duel fun and enjoyable, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm glad you're able to, genuinely. I just want more people to be able to enjoy the game that I love, not just a specific sliver of the community. If you do too, let Konami know. There's going to be a survey after the DC, I imagine. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.